Cardinals owner Michael Bidwill, Hall of Famer, that sit with you. We're going to dive into, of course, the nomination for the Cards president and owner, plus the Senior Bowl wrapped up practices today, Johnny.
Yeah, we're going to do a little Senior Bowl post-practice mock draft. Plus, is Klayton Adams suddenly destined to remain an Arizona Cardinal? That's coming up. PHNX Cardinal starts now. Hello, welcome in live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier, #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Brack. Damon, Dawg behind the mic. They're in Studio K. We're loving life here on a football off-season Thursday. This time next week, we will be in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. And boy, oh boy, do we have some fun guests in store. But we're going to have some fun today with our friends at Bet365. Download the app today. Use the bonus code 365 when you sign up, PHNX365. Find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Brack, how we living here on this football Thursday?
We're living well. Yeah, I can't wait to get wheels up to New Orleans and be at the Big Easy for the Super Bowl. As you mentioned, lots of great guests, lots of great people already in the chat. Brian, Canyon Man, Claymore, Jones, Schaff, Daniel, Rafa, 30 out there, Jaya, and the entire squad is here and excited to talk some Cards ball. Really kind of put the finishing touches on Senior Bowl coverage. We're going to look into, we're going to fire up the old mock draft machine and take all the knowledge that we've gained over the last couple of days and put it forth to Johnny, hijacking a mock draft and doing what he pleases with it.
Yeah, I've made it clear, like, this week is not going to be my week on the mock draft simulator. Like, I will give my input and Damon and Bo will take it and probably flush it down the toilet, put it down the garbage disposal, and they are going to be able to run today. I'm not going to give them access to the mouse, but I'm going to give them access to my heart, and they're going to steer. They're going to mentally steer here on the PFF mock draft simulator. How's your heart feeling about this?
Wheel. That's what you're going to say. Hey, Bo, take the wheel,
right.
Would you? I'm going to go just my faith in you to take us home as far as this mock draft goes, post Senior Bowl practices.
Suddenly there's like 5 guys we want at 16. So I think you and I are going to be somewhere along the same page, but stick around for that. But first,
which guy do you want most? You want to say it on 3?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
No, I want to hold that. I want to tease the audience a little bit.
We all know who it is.
What'd you say, Damon?
We all know who it is.
I don't want to be lost.
What'd you say?
I want to be careful. I like the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
The best players aren't necessarily there. So, like, there are really good players there, but, like, we got to be careful with that. Abdul Carter's not there, right? Travis Hunter's not there. There's a reason certain guys aren't there. I'm just putting that out there. So if Mike Green's beating up on tackles and you know, Walter Nolan suddenly better than Mason Graham today? I don't know. Like, those are the questions we're going to have to answer here as draft season starts. But how did we start our day, Bo? You put this out on Twitter. Cardinals owner Michael Bidwill has been elected to the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame alongside Mike Bibby, among others, Julie Ertz as well. There's going to be an enshrinement on April 10th. And the Cardinals released a really wholesome video of Larry Fitzgerald, letting Michael Bidwill know that he'd be inducted. And as you can imagine, this spurred a lot of discourse, let's call it that, on the Twitter streets as it relates to this announcement. Before we get into our discussion, Bo, what was your reaction to this news today?
I was really kind of indifferent to it because, like, I posed this to most people is like, what did you think about the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame before Michael Bidwill was announced as the latest inductee with his class, and like, is it something that you hold to a very high standard? Is it something that you debate? Like, I think we hear Hall of Fame and we immediately think of Cooperstown, Canton, Pro Football Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. The places where greatness is celebrated and debated so often. Like, we just had like Ichiro and the class just get named last week for Major League Baseball, and you know, people have their takes and they're fantastic, right? I love that. I mean, that's why we get into this business, is like you want to be a part of that and hold those debates. But like, a local sports Hall of Fame and the ones I just talked about, they're very different. Like, what the criteria is incredibly different. So like, when people hear Hall of Fame, they think greatness, dominating your competition from, you know, the owner's standpoint to a coach's standpoint to players and putting up big time stats and winning championships, all of that. Where this one, like when you look at Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, like the criteria, you've got to meet one of three, right? And it's one, to be a native of Arizona. That's pretty easy. I mean, Bidwill's not that. He's from Missouri. Immediately be recognized as an Arizonan. I think, you know, you could probably fit that one, or at least two significant contributions to the athletic community in the state of Arizona. I think that Michael Bidwill, is polarizing as he can be, and if you look in the replies, and they are pretty poison at some point, and whoever's reporting the news, you know, that he has made his contributions and significant contributions as the owner of the local NFL team to warrant this nomination.
Well said. Get to this comment here. AR at the top of the show. I'm passing on this pod today. You were so brave, AR. We appreciate you. We'll welcome you back.
Is AR still here?
I don't know.
He his word?
He dropped that in earlier today. Like, guys, I've had enough. I don't even want to talk about this. I think two things.
Pass, thank you.
Right. Two things. The top of this. Number one, it's important that Bo and I discuss this. Number two, because we talked about not talking about it. And number two, Cardinal fans, people have asked us to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably going to be outside the general consensus, or I don't want to speak for Bo, at least I am. And I'm going to piggyback off a lot of what you said. And I think that you have to weigh a couple different factors here. Life as an Arizona Cardinal fan has not been easy for many of us, but life as a football Cardinal fan pre-Arizona was very difficult for a lot of people. The time in St. Louis, and then really the time we're going to highlight here in a second, the time pre-Michael Bidwill took over as president and owner. Let's just get off this train by saying Michael Bidwill was the reason that the stadium was built. Michael Bidwill ushered that in. It's a stadium that hosts Super Bowls and College Bowls and BCS national championship games. That's not a Cardinal specific task, but this is not a Cardinal specific induction, right? Mm-hmm. The economic boom that you get with a stadium like State Farm Stadium, granted, we all would love it to be downtown. It's not. And I love Glendale. And that's where they initially wanted it, was downtown. He spearheaded that. He's the reason that State Farm Stadium, used to be University of Phoenix Stadium, is here in Arizona. It's a major tentpole stadium. That in and of itself, if you just said that's all he did, that in and of itself, in my opinion, warrants this Hall of Fame induction. You couple that by the fact that if you compare what he's done to his late father, and it's, you know, as much as people despised his father, his late father, I don't like to dog on people after their passing. I think it's going to be gross, but I also want to just kind of contextualize it. It's very easy for significant owners of prominence across sports landscapes to have success, pass along to their kids, and their kids to fumble the bag, right? Happens all the time. We could probably name 10 examples off the top of our head right now. On the flip side, it is incredibly difficult for, I believe, an owner that was raised by a young man that was raised by an owner who saw his father make mistakes consistently and then attempt to do better. And he has, whether or not you love Bidwill, you hate him, whatever, he has unequivocally done better than his late father. And I am always of the mindset. It's like, where did you come from? Who is imparting wisdom on you daily? What was the example that was set for you? And I just feel like, again, the parameters of what you broke down, I just feel like it's not something that I can push back on.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the respective professional sports Hall of Fames and your local sports Hall of Fame it's apples and oranges as far as the criteria. Like if you look down, like who are members of the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, like bringing 3 Super Bowls to Arizona kind of makes a lot of the accomplishments pale in comparison. Like it really does. Like, you know, and I don't want to bring up any names or anything like that, but like if you look at like some of the things where obviously the scale differs as far as how they're going to do it. So they've got like the hard 3, like you're either a native Arizona or you've got the 2 significant contributions. You know, that's going to be good enough for the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, who unanimously voted Michael Bidwill into. That was part of the Wholesome video with Larry Fitzgerald, and he joined Bill Bidwill, who, as you're outlining, you know, as we get away from maybe recency biases, like far more polarizing of a true owner of a football team than his son. Like, has Michael's attempts as far as turning this thing around at times been misguided? Has he leaned on the wrong guy for far too long? Has he made his own mistakes? Yeah, he's not exempt of that by any means. He's not without controversy. He's not without, you know, of course, you got like the accusations of creating a toxic workplace. You got the allegations of the burner phone. You've got, you know,
the facilities, the
facility stuff. Yes, the recent NFLPA report cards have been brutal. They go from 31st to 27th, still not in a place that I think as a fan you would be excited to celebrate. But like at the end of the day, when you look at the criteria, when you look at overall like Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, what they hold to valuable, I think that, you know, Michael Bidwill, especially in the community as well, he's delivered a lot. He's delivered a lot. And if they want to celebrate that, then they do that. That's what they want to champion.
You can make the argument, and we've made it before, he would make a tremendous local politician. When they host Super Bowls, he does a tremendous job, the opposing teams, and people want to throw up when I say that. Look at 2 weeks ago when the LA Rams were here and the Cardinals did a tremendous, that's what this is. It's almost a hospitality award. Are you bringing revenue? Are you improving the economic climate? I mean, his dad, his late father, brought an NFL team here with no plan. They were playing at Busch Stadium. They came and played at Sun Devil Stadium, and Michael got a stadium built that now is a cornerstone venue in the NFL and the sports landscape. That checks the box right there. So again, this is not the popular opinion. We're also not paid off by the Cardinals. This is honestly what we believe. Yeah. And do you want to sit here and be like, it's an indictment that he enabled Steve Keim? 1,000%. It's an indictment that they made egregious errors with Kyler Murray's contract with that gaming verbiage. Like, he's made mistakes. I'll tell you where I gained respect for Michael Bidwill. When the articles came out, when the grades came out, did he pull Dan Snyder? No, he did interviews and he took responsibility. And guess what he's done since then? He's empowered Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon. And I don't know how this is going to end up. Yeah. But again, like I at least want somebody that says, I've seen it done a certain way that didn't get results and we're pivoting. Like, we both sat here and were mortified after Keim and Kingsbury were fired that he was going to take the easy route and hire Adrian Wilson and Vance Joseph, and he went external. So let's jump into it, Bo. Let me show everybody, before Michael Bidwill took over, 1988, when the Cardinals moved to Arizona, through 2006. Let's see it, Damon. We pulled this together before the show. Before he took over as owner, now he had a prominent place in the franchise, but his dad was calling the shots. They had a record of 105 and
These
199.
this is the saddest banners I've ever seen.
This is what but this is what we lived. This is what we lived. One playoff appearance via our guy Frank Sanders and Jake the Snake Plumber, friend of the show, lover of shrooms. 1999, no division titles, no NFC championships, played at a college stadium. It was 1,000 degrees. Saul Bookman sitting in the end zone, season tickets. That's what this was. Look, this is Cardinal
Saul
football.
Bookman just roasting on the metal seats there at Sun Devil Stadium.
This is Cardinal football for 20 years. Soak it in, friends. And I love our demo in the chat. I would say sometimes our demo tends to lean younger.
Yeah.
You know, for every shaft that we got about 15 Gen Xers, right? Awesome. Or Gen Zers, whatever they're called now. So it's important that we point that out. Did you guys see that? 20 years, one playoff appearance. College stadium. So it's hard to say, okay, his dad did that. And then, Michael, you just be the complete opposite. And you're going to turn into the Hunt family in Kansas City. Go ahead, do it. And he's like, okay, I'll do a stadium. And then we're starting from nothing, guys. That's, in my opinion, what this award should exemplify is he's taken the baton and he's gotten him to a certain point, and we feel like he's hit a little bit of a wall, and hopefully they break through. But look at pre-Bidwill, Bo, and that's Michael Bidwill, and that's what we were dealing with.
Yeah, this is before Bidwill's ownership, as he said, one playoff appearance, and what a run it was. No NFC championships, no division titles. Played in Sun Devil Stadium for far too long. And we're nearly 100 games under 500, 105 and 199.
That is unbelievable. And that playoff appearance, they won 9 games in the regular season. It's not like they went like 13-3. It was they snuck into the playoffs. Now they beat Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Fat Gangster, almost 200 losses. Okay. So we've seen that. Okay. Michael Bidwill took over the team in 2007 as president and owner of the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see the graphic, Damon Dawg. Again, it's not, peak Kansas City, New England, Green Bay. But how do you look at this, Bo, and say anything otherwise? He's improved upon what his dad did, and the story is not yet written. And can he be better? Absolutely. But come on, everybody, let's take some context here.
No, I mean, 137, 153, and 2, 5 playoff appearances. How many winning seasons in there though? Like they were
7 or 8.
Yeah, had a couple winning seasons that didn't like BA's first season. They won 10 games and just missed out on playoffs. 3 division titles, 08, 09, 2015. They were the NFC champions as far as that unprecedented run to the Super Bowl. And then got that State Farm Stadium, that venue that hosted a playoff game when the NFL was in a bind with the tragedies going on in LA with the wildfires, which I think is another kind of positive notch as far as Michael Bidwill. And then how many Super Bowls? 3. He's had 3 Super Bowls at University of Phoenix Stadium and State Farm Stadium, and like really good Super Bowls at that. Like I know he has no control over that, but I think the resume, especially when we talk about, the criteria here, I think very worthy of Arizona Sports Hall of Fame.
Of the 17 seasons he's been the owner, they've had 7 losing seasons. I mean, 7 out of 17. Some of them, and one of those was 7-8-1. We're in the thick of it now. Like the post Bruce Arians years were rough, right? 2018, 2019, 2022, 2023, 7 losing seasons in 17 years. Look at what we were dealing with beforehand. I just feel like it's important. It's easy to bag on Michael Bidwill. It's in vogue, and I understand it, and I'm sympathetic. Do they need better facilities? Absolutely. Their facilities are embarrassing. Their locker rooms are embarrassing, right? But I'm not going to sit here and be like, he's Dan Snyder. I'm not going to do that. And again, I want to say all this with, I support and sympathize the people that filed complaints against the Cardinals, how they were treated in their professional work environment. And hopefully those people that situation is being remedied, and those people have been accommodated and supported and helped, and they're taking measures inside the Cardinals franchise to correct those behaviors. So we probably should have prefaced all this by saying that.
Well, yeah, I would hope that people who've watched this show enough would understand that that would be, the part of the conversation. We're not going to just completely say, well, look at how many Super Bowls he's brought to the Valley. That's, I would hope that the people making the decisions who unanimously put him in the Hall of Fame had that conversation.
If he had a Super Bowl, he'd been inducted 10 years ago.
And I think that, if you look at the controversies, the accusations and all that, as far as the Hall of Fame, they're choosing to acknowledge and celebrate the accomplishments, not, what remains, what it is, accusations and allegations, right? Yeah. I mean, what he's done as far as sports landscape here in Arizona, that's what this institution is going to recognize. So, and I don't want to diminish the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, people who have hard takes on this, they're staunchly against Bidwill getting in. Is let me ask you, where is the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame?
If you would have asked me, does this exist? I would have said, well, probably, but I would know nothing about it. I'd be like, yeah, I do one of those things where you're just trying to make conversation with somebody. And you're just like, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Do you daydream about taking your child to walk the halls of the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame and there's Larry Fitzgerald's bust or whatever plaque, or there's Pat Tillman's and there's Michael Bidwill's, and I think that also becomes part of this conversation too, is can you tell the story of Arizona sports? This is big as far as when you're making the claim for somebody in football and baseball. Can you tell the story of Arizona sports and not include Michael Bidwill?
No. I just hope one day this little fanboy podcast has a plaque on the wall there, and it's just got excerpts of me calling people frauds and Bo shilling for the franchise. It's got a picture of he and Bidwill and Gardeck hand in hand. That's what I want.
Has me with Mel Gibson's hair and Braveheart.
Yep.
Okay.
Holding the line. I did want to say before the show, Johnny, I was talking to Bo, and I was saying that this little diatribe he goes on where he says, who really cares at the end of the day? It's going to look real funny in about 10 years when we get Bo Brock in this thing.
Oh, man.
I think that's got to be priority number one.
It'll be like when people look up old tweets.
Want to acknowledge my two co-hosts here, Johnny, Damon. Good to see you. Damon, family looks great. He's got 5 kids.
Wow, you've been busy, Damon.
Arizona Sports Hall of Fame. It's the honor of my life. This is what I work. This is what I worked every day for.
This guy played college ball here.
Bo would sell out so hard for another state in a second. He'd drop AZ tomorrow. But DNVR's own Bo Brock coming up next.
This guy would die for the state. You take that back.
I'm gonna get the state flag tattooed on my body.
I just hope you're inducted into the Yuma Hall of Fame. That's what I hope.
Man, if they'll have me.
You don't deserve it. See, we're going to get a lot of this today. Bidwill might share that steak with you after this pod, JV. That's fine. People can call us shill boys. This is my organic opinion that local Arizona Sports Hall of Fame inductee Michael Bidwill, I have no issue with it. I have no issue. That's my official opinion on it. And now back to your regularly scheduled program, Draft Cardinals Yelling, up next. Chill boys, take a ride with us. How about Waymo? They're doing a ride hailing service that you're going to want to get on right now. Waymo is the premier service for, spring training, local events. They've got you covered, baby. Again, Waymo is where you want to be for ride hailing service. Consists of entirely all electric Jaguar I-Pace vehicles. Okay. They're providing a consistent zero emissions experience for their riders. And again, if you're like, oh, those one-offs, right? How often can I get one? Waymo's doing 150,000 trips per week across San Fran, Los Angeles, and now Phoenix. We're moving up, man. Waymo's here, and it's here to stay. They're the first company to serve as a fully autonomous ride with no human being behind the wheel. I love that because you know what? I'm looking to get in a vehicle. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be on Twitter. Waymo has over 40 million miles of real-world driving experience. That's enough to drive to the moon and back 80 times. I'm telling you right now, if you're sick of all the other rides out there and you're like, I want something intimate for me and me only, and I want to do it here this spring training season, download Waymo. One app ride today, Bo. I can't wait to test it out.
Yeah, I'm always driving the streets of Phoenix, and I see the Waymos drive by, and I wish I was just kicking back, enjoying myself, just surfing my Verizon phone because I love Verizon. Verizon is the best, most reliable service, and now they're giving you even more incentive to make the switch. $800 to pay off your phone. That's right. Check out this brand new promotion. If you're tired of your phone bill draining your bank account, then just turn to our friends over at Verizon, and you wish you could use that money for something more fun, exciting. Well, Verizon feels your pain. For a limited time, new customers get $800 in prepaid MasterCard to pay off your current smartphone loan and switch. That's right, $800. Just trade in your phone, top brands for select unlimited plans. This deal won't last long. Don't get stuck on the bench. Switch to Verizon and take control of your game plan. Get $800 to pay off your old phone. Visit your local Verizon store for all the details.
Big thanks to our friends at Verizon. Big thanks to everybody in the chat. Drop us a like. We're going to be at the Super Bowl this time next week. And, of course, our guy, friend Duffy, wrapping up coverage at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Shrine game tonight, Senior Bowl on Saturday. Before we get into our mock draft later in the show, it was reported earlier today. Well, first, before we get to that, Stephen Jones, Dallas Cowboy, EVP, maybe, son of Jerry Jones, came out and basically said they were closing in or hope to have their offensive coordinator decided very shortly. So I'm paraphrasing, of course. Klayton Adams was considered by many the front runner, the Cardinals offensive line coach. We covered it yesterday. We felt like we were just bracing for that news, Bo. But then, well, we're sitting here on a Thursday and a new name emerges, and it's a name that right now is currently unemployed. How about this? Ken Dorsey. According to our guy, Jeremy Fowler, Cowboys are considering former Browns OC Ken Dorsey for their OC position per source. Interview to be determined, but logistics are being discussed. Okay, Bo Brock, you read this. You start connecting the dots here. What happened within the last 24 hours? Is it as simple as, oh, yeah, the Cowboys, they're just doing their due diligence? Or maybe did things not work out with Klayton Adams?
Yeah, it really is interesting to see how this is going to go down because I was with you. I was seeing the reports. Stephen Jones at the Senior Bowl basically saying they're close. And then Klayton Adams, according to Connor Orr of the Monday Morning Quarterback, the MMQB, was their top candidate. And then, well, Jeremy Fowler, friend of the program, tweets this out. And Ken Dorsey, after being fired from two different organizations in back-to-back years, does he want to make it a three-peat in Dallas? Is it possible? Well, I love to see it. I mean, it gave me renewed hope that, Adams could return to the Arizona Cardinals. Like, did Klayton Adams just say, hey, this little change of title isn't worth it to go join what, I think we can all see is a bit of dysfunctional franchise. And he'll stay here with the stability under Jonathan Gannon's staff. I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're utilizing Dorsey, which would be the worst smokescreen possible, to maybe as just a pawn in their negotiations. I hope that's not the case. I'm hoping more so it's Adams made a decision and they're pivoting elsewhere.
I'm taking this as wait and see, but the progression of the Cowboys job, it became Brian Schottenheimer the further away we got from the other candidates. And then they lined him up and did his interview and hired him. And this is where I was kind of sitting at yesterday was until another name emerges, like, were they really going to hire the Falcons tight end coach to be their offensive coordinator? Like, respect to that guy. I don't think that was warranted. I could understand. And certainly our friends at ELLS and their fan base, Cowboy fan base, like they like the idea because you're basically just sealing Klayton Adams to be your O-line coach.
Mhm.
He's not calling plays, right? He's going to be, he's going to help boost your run game, but that's about it. And so, but that was the conventional thought. Well, the Cowboys have been tending to do the opposite of that this offseason. So maybe they pivoted on their own, or maybe Jonathan Gannon. I have no idea. I don't have the source. I'm speculating. Maybe Gannon and company, Petsy, and they took him aside and said, Klayton, we're going to give you a pay raise. Would you consider staying with us? Because that's a sinking ship over there. I mean, there's, Cam Newton speculating that they're putting this in place for them to just tank this year so they can get a top pick.
I don't get my info from Cam Newton.
You don't like Cam? You don't get your info from Cam?
Especially when he was like, give me MVPs over Super Bowl titles. I was like, I don't know, Cam. I think I'll pass on you being, looking in your crystal ball as far as what organizations are going to do. But it's about is like, you can't apply logic to what is going on in Dallas. Like this, from their roster building outside of like keeping their main guys, like and throwing them millions upon millions of dollars to stay on that roster. But like, as far as the way they've navigated their coaching staff and how things fell apart with Mike McCarthy and now where they are, and they fell into like Brian Schottenheimer, and they're like trying to put patchwork a staff together. I mean, I hope that Klayton Adams views that and just like, this is not that appealing. Like, I do want to make my way up and follow these stepping stones to eventually become, a head coach at some point. But this isn't it. Like we talked last week about, guys who, especially when they looked at the Cardinals organization, they weren't willing to do it because they felt like, because what people in their circles told them it's a bad job and it's, you're in a very tough situation to win, even though that wasn't necessarily the case. Like now are looking towards jobs that aren't even close to where the Cardinals were or where the Cardinals are now. It's just, I think like Ian Cunningham is considering going to the Jaguars. It's like, okay, like I know you need to strike when your name is hot, but at the same time, like Dallas is just, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon.
If Klayton Adams goes to the Dallas Cowboys, he's asking to get fired and then inevitably take a step back in his career. No one sees that succeeding, especially now with the ascension of Washington. Philadelphia is not going anywhere. Like I think if you're Klayton Adams, you have to decide, is the pay raise enough? Is the title change enough that comes with basically no additional responsibilities? You're not calling plays, because here's what's going to happen for Klayton Adams. He's not going to get, you get fired from Dallas as their default OC who doesn't call plays. Guess what? Your next job is not another offensive coordinator where you're going to be the offensive coordinator. You're going to have to probably go back to coaching offensive linemen, if not worse, depending on how bad it falls out. You're saddled with a bunch of old, aging veterans. Zach Martin, their best lineman, set to be a free agent this offseason. Tyler Guyton, the kid we loved out of Oklahoma, didn't pan out really as a rookie. Yeah. So, and who knows, that can change, but you have an opportunity right now. The Cardinals are positioned again. They had, what were they in total offense this year? 11th, 12th? I can't remember. They had a top 5 rushing offense 2 straight years. You do it again, like you're probably getting an OC job next year. Like he has put himself, if you're interviewing for OC jobs now and you build on it next year, we all think the Cardinals are going to be better offensively. They damn well better be. You're getting an OC job next year, and you're hopefully probably doing it with a franchise that has their act together and a coach and a GM that has some cachet, not whatever the hell. I mean, people are, if you're Klayton's family, you're his inner circle, people are laughing at the Cowboys right now. People are looking at Jerry Jones like he's Al Davis 2.0.
Right.
I just take a note from our guy, Cliff Kingsbury. Take a beat and sit this out, my guy. You're young. There'll be plenty of opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, it's tantalizing. I mean, with the title change comes a little bit extra money. Hopefully the Cardinals, can make it competitive, if not meet it.
Yeah.
And save him from, taking a misstep as he tries to navigate the stepping stones of becoming a bigger coach. That was such a out of left field thing. I had kind of chalked it up like Dallas was going to land him. Like it really did, with what Connor Orr was reporting and, Stephen Jones was saying. It just, top candidate, close to an OC, and then less than 24 hours later, we'd like to interview Ken Dorsey. Like, hopefully that's just the final red flag, if there weren't enough before, for Klayton Adams to be like, you know what, think I'm good where I'm at.
Ken Dorsey, who's available. Ken Dorsey, who's being paid by multiple franchises after being fired. Maybe that is Jerry trying to put together like the cheapest coaching staff. I guarantee you right now, Brian Schottenheimer, is he the lowest paid coach in the NFL? Like you'd be hard pressed to find a lower paid head coach in the NFL. So then by default, what's Klayton Adams might be the lowest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL. To your point, try to meet you in the middle. Claymore Jones, am I saying he should have turned down the job? I'm not going to tell anybody what to do in their professional, personal life, but I think it's just easy. We're projecting where could Klayton Adams be in 2 years? Could he be unemployed? I don't think he's going to be unemployed if he remains with the Arizona Cardinals. I could be wrong. I think it's this. I think the smart move is to stay. I wouldn't like if there was talk that he was going to go be the offensive coordinator. I don't know. Give me a like if Aaron Glenn, right? And I know it's the Jets. Hey, Klayton, come here and call plays. He's not calling plays. And you're already with a head coach that a lot of people do not respect the hire. It's a really weird situation. And suddenly the NFC East looks loaded.
Yeah. I mean, the NFC East looks loaded.
Yeah, they hosted both teams in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean the two teams, and then the next two teams are bad.
I think there's a possibility that they could get jumped by the Giants next year.
Dallas, yeah, but like that's it's not saying. I mean, they're still going to be the bottom feeders of the NFC East.
You know, I was thinking about it too as we continue to break down the coaching cycle, and I know we talked about the Cardinals, pivoting off their defensive line coach, and I know there was some speculation that potentially that they could hire the ex-Patriots DC. He inevitably went to Green Bay today as their defensive line coach. We don't have insight as of now on who the new line coach is, but I gotten some DMs and why did he get fired? What's the change? And I don't know. I went back and tried to scour through the final 7 games post-bye. Yeah. And there's one performance that stands out because for the most part, like outside of like the Seattle game at home, when Kyler was throwing those interceptions, like the defense was still pretty consistent in the second half, right? I feel like that's a fair assessment. The Carolina game, when the Cardinals gave up 36 points to Carolina, because outside of that, they were a good defense the second half. The aforementioned Dallas Cowboys really just kind of manhandled Carolina. And then the Cardinals, I want to read off some numbers. Cardinals against the Panthers with the playoffs at stake. I mean, the Cardinals were 7-7. They went out there in the playoffs. They gave up 36 carries for 243 yards, 6.8 yards per clip, 3 touchdowns. How many times did they sack Bryce Young? They did get 3 sacks that day. Baron Browning, Naquan Jones, Kazir White. But those rushing numbers to me stood out. And suddenly it's like maybe the Cardinals aren't sweating losing their linebacker coach or their defensive line coach.
Yeah, I mean that if they played a little bit of defense, especially in the first half, and I know they were put in a tough situation with their offense, it would have been a completely different game. Like you did everything you could, unfortunately, to give that game to the Carolina Panthers. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that wanted some plays back in that game. But if that was it for Chuba Hubbard and Bryce Young to look like they did, it's not acceptable, especially with what was on the line for the Cardinals in that game.
Kyler Murray also did not play well that day. We got a mock draft. How many rounds do you want to go today?
What have we been doing? 2?
Should we go 3 today?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we're going to get dirty. We're going to get gross. That's around the corner. Plus your super chats. We got over 500 people watching on a football Thursday. Drop a like. It's PHNX Cardinals. Speaking of getting nasty, what about with our friends at Bet365 in the best possible way? How about some bonus bucks? How about some boosts? How about some Super Bowl props ready to go? Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide. I would reckon most of them are on right now checking out the Super Bowl lines. Is there a Super Bowl line, Damon or Bo, that you guys like? I know didn't the over-under open up at about 49.5? I don't hate the over.
Big Dom over camera appearances. I think it's got to be at like 19.5.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I wait till the week of the game to really kind of get dirty. So the Bet365 app has been primarily for hoops for me lately. Just trying to shift into that before March Madness.
Right now the spread, KC only like a 1.5 favorite. I feel like that's easy money with our friends at Bet365. You don't want to take my word for it and you're like, that's a little dicey. How about some bonus bets to cure your worried ailment? New customers can bet get 150 in bonus bets when they bet just $5. Deposit $10 again, get 150 with a bet of $5. You got to use the bonus code PHNX365. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
Love that from Bet365. Love what our friends over at Carol Royce Realty are doing for those trying to sell their homes here in 2025. Give Carol a call, 480-776-5231. That's 480-776-5231. Check out carolroyceteam.com. Carol Royce Real Estate Team is family owned for over 3 generations. Family serving the Valley of the Sun and have sold over 12,000 homes here in Arizona. And choosing the right agent, such a big decision for you. But look, why not make the one that is a guaranteed? Not like just do you doubt it, this and that. No, you get a guarantee with Carol Royce. She gives written guarantees. You can't find anything better than resting easy knowing that you're going to make the right choice and the guaranteed one. Your home sold for 100% of the market value. Carol will pay you the difference. If you're considering selling your home this year, the name to trust is Carol Royce, your home sold guarantee realty. Have questions? Call today. Visit Carol online, carolroyceteam.com. That's carolroyceteam.com.
Big thanks to our friends at Sanderson Ford. Again, it's January, which means it's still technically the start of 2025. New year, new me, truck guy in 2025. Drive into the new year with a Ford from Sanderson Ford.
I believe it.
And yeah, I think, why wouldn't you? Bronco Badlands in the newbie for your boy. Sanderson has 28 to choose from with discounts up to $10,000 off, Bo. Purchase a new Edge for $35,995. That's the cheapest I've seen. I cross-reference everything. I look online. I look in the trades, right? I get me hard copy newspaper, and nobody beats the price in a Sanderson Ford. For the best deals in 2025, Sanderson has no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense experience. Drive into the new year with a new Ford from Arizona's most awarded Ford dealership. It's Sanderson Ford. It's like if my mock drafts were a dealership, it'd be Sanderson Ford, because we're aces all the time. I get A's from the PFF mock draft simulator. Sanderson Ford, A's for their customer service and their deals on deals, Bo.
I got another analogy for you, but not for Sanderson Ford. Sanderson Ford, I see some big time quarterbacks participating in the Pro Bowl games, but you're the Drake May, Russell Wilson of those Pro Bowl quarterbacks.
I knew where you're going with that. Doesn't mean it's any less hurtful. I was disappointed that Paris Johnson Jr. did not make the Pro Bowl until I saw that. Now it's just like, what even is this anymore?
Yeah, what is this? What kind of charade is this? What kind of sham?
People want to complain about the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame with Michael Bidwill. The Pro Bowl is the real sham. What is going on?
Yeah, Drake May throwing passes. How many games did Drake May play this year? 13?
Whatever.
12? The AFC always has some stinker quarterbacks all the time.
The bottom one.
The good ones always they're tired from making a playoff run.
That's what it is. It's because the top dogs are Burrow's why would I play in this?
Burrow's there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, then it's Russell Wilson, Drake May. I see Jared Goff's there. I probably because he didn't expect to be in his offseason so early.
He's got to take those and run with them. Win MVP of the Pro Bowl, just so people look back on his career and are like, that was awesome that year Jared Goff had.
Does that mean I have to pour out the saying Drake May be a bust? I feel like I can still say that, right?
Yeah, now he's got Pro Bowler on his resume.
Yeah, didn't Tyler Huntley make a Pro Bowl a couple years ago?
He did.
Good things are going well for the old Pro Bowl in Hawaii. Catch those.
It hasn't been in Hawaii, I think, for close to a decade.
Yeah, it's in Hawaii right now. Skill games, Hawaii. I don't even know. Where is the Pro Bowl? Tampa?
Is it in Orlando? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw Trey McBride was at Disney World today, walking around doing content.
Were
Just
you
wholesome
jelly?
as hell.
Yeah.
I was jealous. Did I ever tell you that story where like I went to Disneyland and he was there at the same time?
Yeah, I
didn't
told
know
you.
it?
I informed you. I gave you the bad news that you crossed paths with Trey and you had no idea.
Could you imagine like being in line at like Pirates of the Caribbean? There's Trey McBride. Trey, over here, Trey. Great season, bud. And he's
Trey
just like
McBride?
Oh my God.
In the flesh? What are you doing here?
Hey, no, I don't know if you saw, we coined the term McBridesmaid after you and you made security, please.
Just trying to ride Space Mountain, sir.
K2 same with Tip. Who's that other large guy with you? Oh no. Oh no. So
82nd overall. I say not high enough.
I've always been a supporter, Tip. No one's been a bigger supporter of me. I just get thrown into the stream, the river at Disneyland. I have to be fished out by Donald and Goofy. Let's get to these super chats before our mock draft here on a mock draft Thursday. Turtle Trolls, $4.99. If Bidwill deserved an award for those facilities, then Johnny deserves president. You don't want to see my policies. You don't want to see those. Some kid asked my son what religion he was today at school, and he goes, I only pray to the football gods. And I'm like, love you, son. That's what he said.
I'd never love my son more than that. What a proud father moment.
We pray to the football gods on Sunday, son.
But do you think that the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame voters are going into the Cardinals facility and checking them out like home inspectors? Like, this isn't up to snuff. I think we're going to give you a little knockoff on as far as the cleanliness of your facility or how up to date it is.
You don't think they read the grades? The what is it called? The Players Association grades. By the way, those are coming up here real quick. Those are coming out in about 2.5 weeks.
No, like I said this, I think recently. I want you to go to the unveiling of the grades. I went last year. I want you, and I want a camera on you when they're revealed.
Oh, at the combine?
Yeah.
No, I'm busy. I'm busy living it up. All the players. That's when I go to the bathroom with the players. That's when you're doing that. That's when I'm in the bathroom with Anthony Richardson and some of the other players. I'm going to be like, Walter Nolan, I'm in the restroom right here. Let's have a conversation off the record.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it goes pretty well. That's how you know at the end of the day, it's combine season. Chaz, $1.99. Bidwill has earned and deserves the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Appreciate that, Chaz. And then Chaz coming back with $1.99 super chat back to back. We've got Chaz there. Good for him. And then Dana, $5. Why can't we have 13 picks again? Edge DT class looks great. Finding unsung guys. Senior Bowl. So much film to watch.
Does it feel, Dana, like last year we got maybe like a trust fund from a relative who passed away, and they're like, but you can only spend it at Walmart. You can't go, to the Chandler Fashion Center. And then this offseason, it's like all your friends and family have money, and it's like they're going.
Last year was the draft to have it.
They're going to Cancun. They're going abroad, and we got a per diem for like $50. We can't do anything.
I got Marvin Harrison Jr.
But that was not. But they were always going to have that fourth pick. I'm talking about like, well, you know what round I'm talking about. The second round right now, you had 4 third-rounders. How many of them can play? How many of them are positions of value, premier positions that can play? I think that's kind of what Dan is alluding to here, and I don't hate it.
I think every year you're going to be like, man, I wish I had 12 picks.
It's true. Our mock draft around the corner. Drop us a like. The show is going off the rails in the best possible way. We're coming right back. 3-round mock coming up.
Love our friends at Colt Cannabis and Truly. We got a Truly right down the street here from the studio, 7th Street. And what is that, Roosevelt? Yeah, Colt Cannabis, True Leave. True Leave, of course, brand new location out there in Maricopa as well. Our friends over at Colt Cannabis now available in your local True Leave. If you're looking for a variety of premium flower, well, Colt Cannabis has it. And they also have the exclusive magic marker the Valley's been asking for, and you shall receive. True Leave, Colt Cannabis, collaborating, making it happen for you. And once you get in and visit a True Leave, find your local shop, you can tell them that PHNX sent you great flowers. Hard to come by these days, but luckily Colt Cannabis has been dropping an absolute fire, including here at the PHNX studios and your local True Leave. Includes True Leave exclusive magic marker strain. Visit a True Leave location, as I said, in the Copa, or visit TrueLeave.com to find a location closer to you. Get to True Leave, find that local shop, and tell them once you place the order that Johnny, Bo, and Damon sent you from PHNX.
Thank you to our friends in the Copa. Also, thank you to our friends at Spinito's Pizzeria. Spinito's has established. That was for all of you. Spinato's wants to establish themselves as the best place to watch Suns games, and who could blame them? Right now, they are hosting official watch parties, Spinato's, throughout the season. You can watch the game with the Suns, with dancers, the Suns dancers, with the Gorilla. Stop by for your chance to win free Suns tickets, gift cards, and more exciting prizes. Again, if you got a decent jump shot, enter their pizza competition. We all have played horse on the basketball court. Again, I play pig. Spinato's, they don't spell horse H-O-R-S-E. They spell it P-I-Z-Z-A. Get it? You can win a free pizza for a year and tickets to the Suns game on April 9th. What's better than free tickets and pizza? Feel the energy, cheer for your team, and win big. Check them out right now. The official pizza of the PHNX Suns. Big fan of them. Again, I promise you, I can pronounce their name. We're big fans. Thank you so much. Again, get that free pizza for a year.
Yeah, I love it. Brings me so much joy to hear you say that.
It's like how I say mustache. I can't say it normally, so that's how I say. Become a diehard right now. Check out our guy, Fran Duffy. I can pronounce Fran's name because it's elite. And speaking of elite, Duffman's got his draft breakdown available right now. He broke news yesterday on our show that Travis Hunter remains his #1 overall player over Abdul Carter. And one of my favorite things that Fran does, because I'm a draft junkie and I love player comps. He's got player comps for almost all of his players right now at gophnx.com. So it'll be nice. It'll be fun. What you'll do today, look at the players we draft and then cross-reference them with Fran's draft guide, Bo, and see who the Cardinals are welcoming. Could they be welcoming the next Haason Reddick? Could they be welcoming maybe the next Josh Sweat if they choose not to sign those players in free agency? That's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely is. And after we talked to Fran yesterday, there was, the news that like Mike Green was done. He was just like, all right, I did what I needed to do at the Senior Bowl. I'm going to take my bags, pack them up, and leave. Mm-hmm. And then that wasn't it. Like a couple other prospects are done for the week in Mobile way before the game even is played on Saturday. So it's becoming more and more of an audition. So I was glad that we had Fran on for those 2 days. And then today it was a little bit more tamer. Some guys went out there. I think even your guy, Walter Nolan, was maybe just out there for like a second and then proceeded to walk off the field and his workouts were done.
I think you made the point earlier this week that it's less about the game and more about the practice, right? And I think kind of the days are done where the game is the marquee event. Like, who played in it? Like Joe Flacco played in it and looked good once upon a time. Like guys can still do that and put together complete performances, but I feel like you're going to compete for like 3 days. And coaches are going to work you out against competition, and that's probably going to be about it. And that's okay. Like that's all I need. I mean, Mike Green's clip went viral yesterday, and I joked about it on Twitter, but it's a reality. He and his people were like, we'll see at the combine. Like, I've done enough here. I dominated. I don't need to go and risk injury because it's a risk to go play in the game. And then what it does is, and I like this, and somebody pointed this out, so I can't take credit for it. It gives other people a chance to shine in the game. Gives other people a platform to get to know them and see if they have an ability to compete. So, will Mike Green be a pick in our mock draft simulator? We are going 3 rounds today, gentlemen. And here's the deal. I am not picking one of these players. I will give my input. Damon and Bo will have to agree upon not only the picks, but whether or not we look for a trade down.
Yeah.
Buckle up. This is going to be our most in-depth draft to date here on January 30th. Let's get creative. Let's remember, let's have fun, guys. This is supposed to be fun.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
You believe him?
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah, I don't either at all.
No, he's a filthy liar, and he can't help himself.
That's rude. You're rude. All right, Arizona Cardinals, 16th on the clock here. We're gonna go public. Maybe slide. Okay.
Don't mess with the sliders.
All right, sorry about that. Already screwing up here. We're gonna enter the draft. And Bo and Damon, you're in control. I'm just an innocent bystander here.
Yeah. I mean, if you give me the sticks on here, I think that we should start the draft.
Okay.
And let's just see how the first 15 picks go. Who went number 1 overall, Johnny?
Number 1 overall went, oh geez. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, McMillan, Will Johnson, Shador, Mason Graham, Malachi Starks, Luther Burden, the wide receiver from Missouri, Campbell, the tackle from LSU, followed by Simmons, the tackle from Ohio State. But then we have murderer's row here. Pierce, Abuka, and Mike Green go back to back to back, and then Ashton Genty to the Falcons. Cardinals are on the clock now. No James Pierce, no Mike Green, no Malachi Starks. So we continue on.
Pretty interesting. And you got pretty deep into the tackle territory, as you mentioned. Like even a guy like Simmons, who's coming off an injury, went before you. So now you're staring down Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas. You got Tyler Warren, as you mentioned, Ty Warren, the tight end, not in business there, not in business for Benjamin Morris, a talented corner from Notre Dame. But you are looking at Michael Williams, Kenneth Grant territory. Somebody we talked about, Walter Nolan. He didn't go off the board yet, right?
No, and I just want to point out you have 2 trade offers right now, and many scouts are reporting that this draft falls off after pick 20. So if there's a guy that you and Damon like that you feel like you can get in the early 20s, I think exploring a trade down is smart. But I'm not running this draft, and to say it's smart and then you do something otherwise, calling you stupid, I don't want to imply that either.
Let's take a look at who is calling up Monti Ossenfort. In this case, Damon and Bo, knocking down our door for a potential trade up.
It's the Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears. Now the Bears pick 39. We're going to dismiss them right away, I would assume.
You are correct in saying that and assuming that. And then the Broncos at what, pick 20?
20. Yep.
Yeah, let's look at a trade with the Denver Broncos.
So it'll be 20 and 16, and then you could try for 52. I mean,
let's try it real quick.
Okay. It was declined.
Declined. So now let's go with a third this year and a third next year.
Okay. It was accepted. So the Cardinals, by moving down 4 spots, 16 to 20, 2/3 from Denver, that you could use this year and maybe package up and come back up, do whatever you want to do.
All right, let's resume the draft. Broncos now on the board. Who'd they take?
I love it. Tyler Warren, tight end.
For them.
Yeah, I think Zach Stevens would lose his mind at that pick.
Does he love Tyler Warren?
He does. Yeah, he's. I've already seen a bunch of his content. A couple players that we didn't really have a whole lot of interest in Banks, in Captain Jack Sawyer and Benjamin Morris.
I don't mind Captain Jack
actually
going
off
off
our
the board. I don't mind that because number one, it means we don't have to pass on him, and number two, I knew you would never take him anyway, so I'm fine with that.
We actually red flagged him. He's not on the board.
Medical character concerns for how he handled the loss to Michigan. Damon's got a red flag on him.
Now, how do we feel about, let's talk through this, Michael Williams, or do we go down the draft? Because I don't like Shamar Stewart after what we talked with Fran about, the non-productivity, the sack and a half for 3 consecutive seasons. You're not going to change my mind with a couple Senior Bowl practice performances.
Am I allowed to give my take?
Yes.
I think the conventional wisdom would lean toward a champion in Kenneth Grant. Look what he just bludgeoned Ohio State. And I think that there was an obvious regression this year. No Harbaugh. That team was gutted. Yeah, you look at this kid, and he's so rock solid. 6'3", 340, nose tackle that can penetrate. He's only 21 years of age. If you're not taking Kenneth Grant here, I almost think about trading down again, because I look at Williams, I look at the kid out of Boston College. I'm not sure where our guy is from Ole Miss, but I just feel like there's more talent to be had. Where is our guy from Ole Miss?
Why don't you look up defensive lineman and just
I think he was in the low to late 30s.
Oh my
somewhere
God.
in the 30s.
Okay, so D-line. So Walter Nolan. So you can't tell me if you traded down again and got an additional pick or two, like Kenneth Grant. What's the difference between Kenneth Grant and Walter Nolan? Like, I know PFF's got a difference on it, but the tape that I've seen of Walter Nolan, number one, he has no body fat on him. He's incredibly explosive. Like, I just feel like you want to take Grant, fine. Otherwise, I would try to trade down and get one of these D linemen.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really a question of, like, do you want to get your defensive lineman here and your edge later, or your edge now and your D lineman later?
I mean, weren't you not the biggest fan of Michael Williams?
Well, you got it. Wasn't he fighting through injury this year?
Yeah.
How do we feel about Scourton?
I don't know if I've got Scourton higher than like Michael Williams.
Yikes.
Who did he struggle against there?
Texas with their tackles.
Bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're all about this. I think I'll point this out.
And Jalen Walker, their rankings are criminal, and he's still on the board here.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
These two players are...
I'm okay with that.
Of the same caliber, in my opinion. Like, these two guys, I feel like could be top 15 players right now. And then I think the rest of these players are in kind of a class to themselves.
I'm putting my, I think you go Williams here off the edge, and then you hold out for a defensive lineman. We already traded we got a little extra draft capital. We got an extra third going along with our second. We could always trade down in the second round too, like Monti Ossenfort has done.
I'm good with Michael Williams. In my head, I'm just going to pretend like we picked Jalen Walker.
Okay.
What about, can I throw this out here? I'm good with Michael Williams as well, even though it's not my choice. What do you think about taking Williams, pausing the draft, trying to jump up with the third that you added to try to get the D tackle Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss and getting aggressive to come up for him? Because I think at pick 47 right now, it's not likely that he's going to be available. I mean, like, trying to call up like one of these, teams and offering a third round pick. How do you feel about that?
Can you do that right now? You can trade.
I think so. Yeah. So let's call the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
But I think we need to see how the board plays out first, though.
Okay.
So I'm going to slow this down. We're going to take Michael Williams. Okay. So everybody bear with me here. I like this pick. That's good value. Champion SEC defender. So I'm going to speed this up just ever so slightly.
Steelers go running back.
Yep. Texas, Kenneth Grant, Scourton, nothing. Still good. Okay, stop. Okay, so he's available. So I guess we could call Cleveland, right? And pick 33, 47, and then we could flip the Denver pick. Is anybody comfortable with that? No, they're going to accept it. What about a fourth rounder? You want to try that first?
Yeah, if we can hold on to it. It's just to get up. What is that? 12 picks?
Yeah,
14 picks,
15 picks to come up and get a D tackle, presumably Walter Nolan. Offering this trade, not accepted. I mean, what about if I don't like
tossing a sixth next year?
Let's go. Let's
sweeten the pot.
We'll do a fifth. Offering the trade. Oh my God, Browns! Come on, Browns!
You must like somebody.
Let's do 2-4. I don't have an issue with 2-4. Trying to win a Super Bowl, damn it! All right, 2-4 got it done this year and next year. So we are back on the clock. Now there's some interesting options here. There's another edge rusher that has caught our eye. And then, of course, we've got Walter Nolan available here. You guys decide. I mean, we've earned it now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you go interior here. I don't think you double up on because you're assuming you're going to get at least some bodies off the edge in free agency.
I mean, this guy, did he have a bad game this year? Good hell. I mean, this is one of the cleanest game-by-game grades I've ever seen for a defensive lineman. I mean, his only kind of hiccup is Arkansas, but I mean, he's just an absolute freak show. 6'3", 305. He's not going to be a second-round pick, but for today's draft, I just think it makes too much sense. Damon, you good with this?
Yeah, I think that's the pick.
Yeah, I was surprised to see how many edge rushers have emerged that I like here in the second round that just kind of keep filed away going forward.
Yeah. I mean, how many tight ends can we get drafted?
Yeah, Princely from Ole Miss. You got kid from Arkansas who had a really nice day today. But yeah, I think Walter Nolan is no doubt about it, the pick here.
It's a really good draft so far. I'm going to give you guys some credit. We'll crank up the speed here, assuming we're not going to do any more trades. Cardinals back on the clock, 78 and 84, gentlemen. Dylan Gabriel going to the Niners to pick 75 would give me life as an NFL fan. That would literally give me second life. Cam Scattaboo, as I scroll up here, falls to the Cincinnati Bengals at pick 49. JT out of Ohio State goes to Damon's Miami Dolphins. Don't hate that value, Damon.
Who went to the Dolphins?
The other edge rusher.
Ohio JT. State. All right, so now what we're looking at the board, I already see a guy I really like, can really kind of bolster, I think, what you want to do off the edge. In Bassa from Oregon. He had a really solid Senior Bowl. If you wanted to look at different spots outside of the defensive front seven, you probably need to take a look at some guards here and some tackles.
Is Bassa an off-ball linebacker, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, developmental tackle. We're not taking a tight end. I'm not gonna pretend like I know.
You got Walter Nolan, so you got to think about what you have in your defensive line room now. So you've got Darius Robinson, Walter Nolan, Dante Stills, Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols. So kind of
probably set.
Yeah.
Could I interest you in a Tez Johnson? That looks tremendous during the Senior Bowl right now.
He's 150 pounds soaking wet. That's the only issue I have with Tez Johnson.
He absolutely cooked Penn State, but yeah, that
put on like a Lad McConkey type Senior Bowl practice performance. Wouldn't you agree, Johnny?
I'd rather not discuss that. I can't speak on that. This is where you guys, you interested? Can I interest you in a tight end from Bowling Green?
Look at that grade, man.
Harold Fannin was the best
player in the
country. He had like 1,300 yards receiving this year.
A 96 grade.
He had 1,600 yards. Good luck to him. He will not be a Cardinal. All right.
Yeah. Can we look at a interior O lineman?
Yes, I like that idea.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable taking an off-ball linebacker at this time. Tate Rutledge potentially at 84. I don't like it right now. The rest of these guys feel like.
Do they have a tackle?
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest. I feel like
Donovan Jackson.
Donovan Jackson, was really good. Look at his playoffs. I mean,
he's also versatile. He played guard for 2 seasons before having to play left tackle when Simmons got hurt.
6'4", 320. Is he a true tackle? Here's what I do know. He's an older player. He's a senior, so he's probably pretty refined. Damon, the more I hear about the kid out of ASU, or U of A, it really feels like he's going to play guard at the next level, which isn't necessarily bad for him for the Cardinals. What about this kid out of Penn State? Dominant at times, yeah, but been a consistent right tackle. Had a big clunker against Indiana. Played well against Ohio State, though. I say you guys pick a tackle would be my vote.
Yeah, I like Donovan Jackson.
Okay. Damon, you go with that?
Works for me.
All right. Next up, last pick of the day, pick 84 for the Arizona Cardinals. Back on the board, probably a lot of the same names here. We've addressed, gentlemen, edge rusher, defensive tackle, offensive tackle. Do you get cute here and take a receiver? Do you look at, a non-traditional, non-premium position? I don't know if you can go back and take yet another 3rd-round corner.
I think that you just did you just ate your vegetables for 3 straight picks. Let's have some fun. Let's make that Tez Johnson pick.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I wasn't going to tell you that should have been the play to swing your
He's
vote.
He's such a gentleman. I think a mock draft gentleman Johnny is.
I mean, this harkens back to John Brown, does it not? Late third, different universities. I get it, night and day. But I mean, speedster, undersized, can come in, play the slot underneath. Let me ask you one quick question before we make this selection. Is there any interest in looking at this right here?
No.
Not with that murderer's row of names.
I don't know. Like for podcast listeners, like we're looking at quarterback, and Damon threw up in his mouth, looking at Will Howard and Kyle McCord,
Riley Leonard,
yeah, and then was it Tyler Shuck? That's the only guy we heard positive stuff really consistently about, and he's just too far down. It's too early.
Here's an idea: Riley Leonard, and all of a sudden the tune push. But we replace it with Riley Leonard. The tush push for the Cardinals, all of a sudden, that's a weapon.
Okay.
Really nice 3-game stretch here from Quinn Ewers to begin Ohio State season. Did Jalen Milroe get drafted already? Yeah, he did. He went to the Browns. That's such a Browns pick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Any interest in reuniting Kyle McCord with Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Not in the third round.
Look at these numbers. Look at this production from our guy Kyle McCord.
I always believed in him.
Yeah, that's true. I've heard that about you. All right. Well, I wanted to pull this up here before my eyes started bleeding.
Sobering. That's what that is. It's very sobering.
Welcome back, Kyler Murray. We've never doubted you for a second.
Right before we make this pick, where is Gray Zabel ranked? I just want to know.
I think he already went, didn't he?
They have him gone already?
Almost positive he's gone.
Who's that? The
kid out of North Dakota State, Gray Zabel.
I think he went to the Bears. Yeah, he did. They have him listed as a tackle in here.
Early second, huh?
We would have had to use that trade up.
Noted.
Not interested. Not interested in that. No,
you're not interested in Gray Zabel?
Not if it means passing on an SEC defensive lineman. No thanks. Hey, thanks, but no thanks is what I would say to that. Hey, Gray, enjoy Chicago. They do a great job with O-linemen. All right, Tez Johnson. You guys comfortable with the pick here?
Yep.
Let's do it. I will say a little teamwork went along.
We earned an award.
A- draft. I mean,
yeah, we got low score for Tez Johnson at the end, but that's our little cheat pick right there.
It's our cheat meal. It's getting a little Arby's on
that was for us.
Yep, it's a little beef and cheddar with
everything else was for you guys for the betterment of the team. This one, Tez Johnson, that was our pick. A for Williams. What do we get? We don't get grades on the trades anymore.
I guess not. That's an A trade, though. I mean, a couple 4th-rounder ham sandwiches. Thanks, Browns. Walter Nolan. That's like having 2 first-round picks to me.
Yeah.
And
I mean, can you imagine the front 7 if that's what this draft yields for Monti Ossenfort?
Nick Rallis.
And some sort of like Monti Ossenfort can get that in some variation.
Yeah. If he wants it. I mean, this draft is don't you feel like this draft is the draft to like make a move up to get a couple impact defenders? Haven't we talked about the fact that we want to have this mirror kind of what the LA Rams did a year ago? Isn't that what we want to do? I don't know. I feel like
playoffs. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I just feel like they got they had Byron Young, which could be Darius Robinson. Then they went out and got an edge rusher in the 1st round, a defensive lineman in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
I know it's not apples to oranges, but that's a good draft. It does feel good to share. It does feel good to be in unison with this mock draft.
What's funny about that, Bo, is I think me and you navigated that well, but like Johnny got everything he wanted.
He did.
He wanted Tez Johnson. He wanted that trade down. He kind of put that into our heads. Hey guys, what do you think about maybe trading up here in the 2nd for Walter Nolan? Does that sound like a good idea to everybody?
You get more bees with honey than you do with salt.
All 600 people watching were just like, this guy's manipulating.
He's the puppet master. Guys. Yeah, he's the puppet master.
Just pulling the strings.
Walter Nolan to the Cardinals. You asked me what my favorite player was right now. I think it's Walter Nolan.
We would have said it in unison, my man.
Oh my God, we're so lockstep. It's gross.
You should have let it happen. No, but when you look at just the edge spot, and who we got with the Cardinals in the first pick. And a lot of guys are a little concerned about that. But like, and Fran Duffy's not the biggest Michael Williams fan. He's got him 11th. He's got him edge 11 in his draft guide, which said, severe lack of production and his urgency and pursuit did not wow him, but he saw a high amount of snaps inside 4-3-4 technique, and he's also outside at defensive end. So, yeah, I don't know. Fran didn't like it, but and a lot of people in the chat didn't like it. So
I like Fran, and I would love to ask Fran about that. And it's early. It's still, it's January. We got about 3 more months to go, and a lot of things change. But I think we can start to figure out like who the guys are that at least are going to be in the ballpark of where the Cardinals have an opportunity to draft, right? This time last year, people were slobbering respectfully all over Kool-Aid McKinstry, right? Didn't work out that way for him to be a top 10 pick. So I just, for Monti Ossenfort, I just feel like you can't go wrong with SEC defensive linemen that played well at college, that are checking the boxes in the offseason. Those guys have high floors. It's a big reason why Darius Robinson was drafted. So Walter Nolan next to D-Rob, sign me up for that. And then mix in, another edge rusher, maybe a Haason Reddick. Suddenly we're looking like playoff caliber defense, Bo.
But it's going to be fascinating to see what our mock drafts look like going forward, just because you can go like whatever flavor you prefer as far as the edge spot or defensive line, because I think that there's going to be, Mason Graham's going to be off the board, hopefully before 11 to the Niners. And then you've got, who do you like? Do you like Kenneth Grant? Do you like Walter Nolan? Or do you like the edge group, Mike Green? Who else have we been talking about? The kid from Boston College. Mm-hmm. It's just, and it's consistently deep, just like the wide receiver group, the tackle group was, through 3 to 4 rounds.
Yeah. The Cardinals need the quarterbacks to perform, these tight ends to have all worldly workouts, a running back to sneak up, corners, right? We don't think the Cardinals are going to take a first-round corner. Just push these defensive linemen down. But I just fear these quarterbacks are gonna blow it. I hope I'm wrong, but do you have any kind of feel for like the juice with these QBs? I got like no juice with Shedeur Sanders. I feel like Shedeur Sanders could be there when the Cardinals pick at this rate.
Yeah, like what? All top 6 teams talk to Shedeur, so they're doing their homework and just trying to figure out, getting some insight on the prospect. But there's probably also teams below that are like, maybe we could realistically have a shot at this kid. But the position is so much need, especially with those top teams. I don't know. As much as I think he could fall, I still think there's a really, really good chance he's going to be in our top 5 guy.
I hope so. I also hope everybody likes this video, subscribes to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. What'd you think of our mock draft? What would you do differently? Drop us a comment below post-show and let us know. And, of course, if you're in our exclusive PHNX Cardinals member Discord, if you're a diehard, drop your own mock draft. We'll come in there. We'll grade it. We'll burn it. I'll probably won't like it, but we'll see. We'll have to take a look. No, in all seriousness, we appreciate the input. I think, I can't see the chat when we do those things. Did you feel like the chat? We were all in general consensus.
They hated it. I think a lot of people didn't like Michael Williams. A lot of people were.
Who would they have gone there with? Kenneth Grant?
Like I said, guys, let's just imagine it was Jalen Walker.
Brian, $2 super.
I can't wait for the PFF grades to the ratings to match.
That's why it just doesn't really bother me. Like Johnny's always like, well, he's not within the first 10 best available picks. And
that's the thing with like Walter Nolan. The Cardinals aren't going to be able to get Walter Nolan at 33 or whatever we got him at.
They may not get him at 16 at this rate.
Yeah.
That's why I'm all for just like whatever's realistic. I think Jalen Walker at 20 or whatever is pretty damn realistic.
Yeah. I was talking to let's see, from Draft FM. Did a little video that's going to hit the site here on this weekend, and I was like, "What's the difference between Walter Nolan and Mason Graham?" He said, "Very little. Like as far as the disparity between the consensus top defensive lineman and the guy who's emerged this week.
I almost tweeted out, but I feared of being roasted, which usually is not a concern of mine. How are we sure Walter Nolan's not DT1 in this class? Like, are we sure about that?
Oh, draft Twitter would have.
They would have been like, "You're a moron," and that's where I have to use my own.
You
logic.
don't know ball.
Walter Nolan's going up against other Senior Bowl guys, whereas Mason Graham was the best defensive lineman last year and maybe this year in college football. So Brian's not into Williams. 1 sack if you take out the Texas game. I mean, who had robust sack numbers though? Outside of Mike Green, who was playing Panera Bread. Like
the Boston College kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, Bo, who they playing in the ACC? Who's on the Boston College guy's schedule? Then you threw out, you don't like Jack Sawyer. He at least had 8 or 9 sacks this year. Some of these guys, we're going to be talking about the thing that we didn't want to talk about with Tyree Wilson, projection to the next level, right? For every Clay Matthews that had like 2 sacks as a senior at USC, there's a bunch of Tyree Wilsons that we should have just known can't get after the quarterback. But I'm hopeful.
I was downright heartbroken when we traded down and Sawyer was selected.
That's so disingenuous.
No, let me finish. That he wasn't on the board and we could just pass on him in your face. And right in front of your eyes.
I would have called him. I would have called him up. You would have answered his phone in the green room, and I would have said, "Jack, just wanted to let you know we're not picking you with this pick."
I do think like Bo and Damon would generally be annoyed if Jack Sawyer became a Cardinal. Like, I can't root for this guy. He's too much of a Boy Scout. I don't like him. That's fine. My dream is for Jack Sawyer and Haason Reddick to be the starting edge rushers for this team next year.
I actually also am hoping for exactly that to happen. I would
be good content for this show.
That group next season.
Bo would be crammed in the locker at State Farm Stadium.
Oh, Bo would be. I mean, all of Bo's friends would be gone. That's why he doesn't want it.
Bo's hoping Dennis Gardeck gets a 5-year deal this offseason. He and Lucetta. Is it Damon? Is it ironic that all Bo's buddies play pass rusher and ironically the worst unit on the team? It's like they know they're like, we gotta get chummy with Bo to spread the news that we're actually not that bad.
Well, I mean, we all know how it happened at lunch. In the lunchroom, they call Bo over. Hey, come sit with us, man.
Hey, come over here. Oh, thanks, Victor. Hey, thanks, Baron. Didn't even know you guys saw me. And then everybody else is like, we don't want to sit by Bo.
Yeah. And I'm like, isn't my co-host Johnny a jerk? And they're like, yeah, he is. That
yeah, he is. Make sure you talk us up.
Yeah. Did you hear him say Spanitos? Like, yeah, what an idiot.
Oh man, only one more day without Super Bowl content, Senior Bowl, and then we get through this week. We got one more show. We're gonna have a great time tomorrow. Super Bowl next week, and then we're in the off season. It's officially the off season. Trades, acquisitions, draft, prospect breakdowns. Will Klayton Adams remain an Arizona Cardinal position coach? I think we'll probably definitively know by tomorrow. The Cardinals or the Cowboys dropped the hiring of Schottenheimer last Friday night at like 10 p.m. So maybe we'll have a good idea, Bo.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get some clarity on that. Trey McBride participating in the Pro Bowl games now. Seeing some of that hit across our social. Trey getting a little national, well-deserved national spotlight, but he's ours. It's Cardinals fans. You can enjoy it. It's cool to see one of the Cardinals fans or players highlighted there. But for Johnny and Damon, I'm Bo Brock. Make sure you've got PHNX subscribed to on YouTube and you got the alerts set up. Barring any breaking news, we could be live again. Who knows? But until then, we'll talk to you on Friday.
We all silly like the mayor.